It's the Nuka-Cola Lounge, presented by the Triple S League.
Smooth, suave, and done with a smile.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Nuka-Cola Lounge, where we talk about all things Fallout. My name is Ash, and I'm here as always with Syb. We've got another Fallout 4 theory for you about the point in the E3 promo where your main character and its family and a whole bunch of other people are running to the vault right after they registered their place in the vault with that Vault Tech salesman. The sirens start going off, everybody starts running to the vault. So your main character and his spouse and their baby, they're all standing on top of the entrance to the vault, which I've immediately noticed is different. In Fallout 3, the doors were vertical. Now the door seems to be on top of the vault. So they're standing on top of the entrance to the vault. They say, "I love you," to each other. Then the bomb goes off, and the explosion expands, and it looks like everybody dies.
This might be a little bit of a fake. This might be what happens if you don't make it to the door in time. Like, your survival might actually depend on, doing a good job in getting to the vault.
Right. So let's assume for the moment that this is not a sort of a bad ending scenario that happens if you don't get to the vault fast enough. Let's assume this is part of the main storyline. It's easy to conclude right off the bat that your family is dead and you're the lone survivor of this vault. But does that really make sense? So we're going to dive into that question today. There's a few things that don't add up about that, isn't there?
There's a lot of things that don't add up about that. Number one, as we see in the later gameplay where he comes up out of the vault, he's standing on this like elevator thing that's shaped like the vault door. When we're looking at the family standing there with all of the other townsfolk standing there, there are some people that are standing on top of the vault door, and then there's some people that are standing a little off of the vault door, and the wife and the baby are standing almost center to the vault door. So if anybody was not going to make it, into the vault when the vault door drops down, it's definitely going to be the person who's standing on the edges or the outside of it.
This is not an Empire Strikes Back, Han Solo being lowered into the carbonite while Princess Leia looks on and is helpless to do anything. This is, it's not that kind of I love you goodbye scene. They're both standing on top of the vault door. I mean, if she's dead, he should be dead. They're both right there.
Yeah.
In fact, like you said, she's more central on top of the door than he is. So if you're standing right there when the bombs go off and that shockwave hits you, the screen kind of goes black at that point. You don't actually see everybody dying, but you obviously survive. So it would make sense that your wife and child have also survived.
Yeah, I think if you're standing where you're standing and you get to make it into the vault where you're standing, I definitely think that everybody makes it into the vault who's standing on the vault door. Now you're in the vault, and this is where we don't know what happens except for one other scene, and that is where you find the Pip-Boy. Obviously, you're finding the Pip-Boy after you wake up from cryogen. We know that this is a cryogen facility.
And that has been officially confirmed by Bethesda, right? That this is a cryogenics facility, and you're waking up 200 years later, so we can reasonably conclude that you've been in cryogenic stasis for 200 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are saying, oh no, you're actually a robot, an android. We know that you're not an android because, first of all, androids were not created until just a few years prior to you getting out of the vault. So in the 2250s was when they started to be, really, really polished, and they've existed for maybe 50 years before that. They are not something that was around when you went into the vault.
Just to play devil's advocate here, is it possible there could be we think he's been in the vault this whole 200 years and that it's been sealed and no one's come in or out, but at the beginning of Fallout 3, you're led to believe that you were born in the vault, your parents were born in the vault, and that it's just gone back generations like that, completely sealed off from the outside world. But then as you go, you learn that's not actually the case. Could there be something like that going on?
It's a massive cheat in the narrative if it were, because you've created a character in the beginning of the game that's not actually the character that you're playing at the end of the game. There's been so much focus on you have lived in the past and you're now waking up in the future, after seeing everything destroyed, so you have a sense of loss. If you're an android, there's no actual sense of loss. It's just an illusion. You're created to think that you're from the past, and then you're going to start looking for it. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because someone would obviously have had to intentionally transfer your character's mind into an android.
Or you're given false memories. Well, okay, you're given false memories. That means the whole prelogue to the game you played didn't actually happen. That's just somebody writing that. That doesn't make sense. We know that cryogenics have been in the Fallout universe since Fallout 2. We know that cryogenics have been involved in it. There's actually lots of people who have slept for 200 years. Dr. House slept for 200 years, and there's a lot of other characters that have slept for 200 years. We know this. I don't know why so many people have jumped on the idea that you're an android. So after you wake up from cryo, you find the Pip-Boy. We know this because you pick up the Pip-Boy off of the bony, long dead arm of a scientist who's in the vault. We know this is in the vault because when he comes up out of the vault, he's already got the Pip-Boy on his arm. We know that you pick up the Pip-Boy after you've been sleeping because of the fact that there's a body on the ground that has decayed down to the bones. And obviously people don't leave bodies around to decompose down to the bones while everybody is standing around chatting. This is definitely long afterwards. You find this scientist's body, you get your Pip-Boy.
And that raises a few interesting questions. Because if I was in his position, the first place I'd be looking for my wife and child is right there in the vault. So it seems to me that he would either find them there, or at least evidence that they died there.
Yeah. If they were dead, how many newborn babies' bodies are going to be in a vault like that?
And I think another clue to this is the fact that he comes out of the vault having no idea what's going on and no idea that 200 years has passed.
He's not coming out of the vault grieving.
Yeah.
His robot's, Master, I haven't seen you for 200 years. Oh, what's ever happened to you, Mr. Fuckface? I don't understand what's going on. If he was in grief, he'd say, "Oh, Mr. Handy, the wife and Sean is dead. Oh dear, whatever shall we do?" That's would have been a line that he could have delivered. But instead, he's not in a grieving state. Most people, having gone through something like that, aren't going to be happy to just, well, I guess I get to start over. Well, that was lucky. I don't have to carry around that ball and chain anymore.
Well, that's obviously not the case. He's in love with his wife and she's in love with him and they have this baby together. His family is very important to him.
He's obviously not looking for a Nuka-Cola fix or some caps to start a business. Mm-hmm. The only thing that anybody would be looking for in those circumstances is what happened to his family.
And it's not just that you're searching for something, it's that you're searching for something immediately. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he goes to his old house right away because he gets there and he hasn't had anything to eat. His robot immediately notices that he's famished. It's not like he's been out hunting and been exploring the world for a while and then goes to find his place.
Mm-hmm. As we saw with data that came out at QuakeCon, there's more hints and more hints that you're actively searching for something. And again, what the hell are you searching for if it's not your family? Are you searching for, just some money? Or are you searching for revenge? You're gonna find a way to get to China to kill the people who launched the bombs? Like what are you searching for? In their last game, Skyrim, we saw a story where you had no past, where you had no background, where you didn't have a cause. And a lot of people would ask, okay, so you're just a dude who was going to be executed, who then decided to run away and then join up with the people who were just trying to execute you to fight the dragons? There's a lot of story holes that were not super major, but there was a lot of things that didn't make a lot of sense. You're this person who has no background, has no memory, and that's already been done multiple times by Bethesda, and that was a big critique in New Vegas, which was made by Obsidian. What's your past? Why am I risking life and limb to do anything? Is it just selfish reasons? Is it purely selfish? Or is there something deeper, more important going on there? Purpose, goals, something that's driving you to go out. If we have this idea that we're robots, or if we have this idea that our family's dead, there's a lot of questions as to, well, why the hell is the character bothering? Maybe your spouse does die at some point. You can romance other characters.
So the spouse is deceased, or at least you think he or she is.
But your kid is still out there somewhere. I think ultimately it does come down to trying to find your son.
Man, I can't wait to dive into this game. Just wanting to know what happens. We got a few months to wait, but there's a lot to speculate and talk about between now and then. We also want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you have any of your own Fallout 4 theories you'd like to share with us? If we like them, we might feature them on a future episode. Feel free to leave us some comments down below or tweet us at our Twitter handle, which you can find in the description below. That's all for now. On behalf of Syb and the Triple S League, my name is Ash. Thanks for listening. We'll be back very soon with more Nuka-Cola Lounge.
Don't get all burnt up.